Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This is another review of the current mice that I have on my desk. As you can see here, I have a number of different mice, mostly the same shape. But I'm going to focus on the Gamesense Meta and the MVP. Both of these are wired mice. These are not the wireless versions of these mice. I haven't used the MVP much, but I'm going to get it out of the box here and show you what it looks like. It looks very similar to the Meta. The Meta, though, is different in the side button configuration. As you can see here, the side buttons on the MVP are more higher than on the Meta. So essentially, I use these. I use the side buttons for building in Fortnite, and therefore the MVP is a little bit too high for me to comfortably build. So I don't use the MVP very often. So in fact, it's only been out of the box for maybe about 10 minutes. I pre-ordered it when it went live a few months ago. So anyway, I'm gonna talk about the overall build, the weight, the cables, the buttons, and just give you an overall conclusion on what I think about these two mice. Let's start with the overall build. This is an early copy of this Gamesense Meta. As you can see, it's number 7 of 50. So I was lucky enough to be one of the first few people to get this mouse, apparently. But overall, I would say that it is a very good mouse. The buttons feel very nice. The clicks are very nice. In fact, I would say they're probably one of the best clicks you can get on a mouse. In fact, the side buttons, they did not disappoint, although I must say they do feel a little bit wobbly. Here, see if you can hear that. The front mouse button gives a little bit of a wobble to it, but it's not very noticeable when you're in the game. The scroll wheel is smooth. I would say it's one of the better scroll wheels. Similar to I would say it's almost identical to the Razer Viper, except it's a little bit louder. The steps are a little bit louder. As far as the butting, the scroll wheel press is very, I would say it's not as tactile as most mice I've tried. Here's the S2C. This mouse wheel is very tough to press in, very firm, whereas the Gamesense Meta is easily pressed in. In fact, it's the same thing as MVP. It's got to be the same exact switch. Same thing, yep. So I do like the side buttons and the main buttons on this mouse. In fact, this is my main mouse. I use this. This is my most commonly used wired mouse, although I do spend a lot of time with the Razer Ultimate and Viper Ultimate and the Model O wireless, which I purchased a couple weeks ago. I had been using the Model O and the Model O Minus for a number of months now since they came out, but I wanted the wireless version of that. But anyway, so overall this mouse is built very well, except there's a little bit of a rattle in the front mouse button here. Yeah, I don't have any problems at all with this. I haven't even tested this one yet as far as the build quality. The buttons, I must say, sound a little bit more hollow than the Meta. Here, here. See if me bring this up so you guys can see it. Right here. There's that. And then you can tell that this one is actually pretty hollow sounding. In fact, mainly on the right mouse button where it sounds hollow. But as far as the overall clicks are concerned, I think the clicks on the MVP are a little bit lighter for some reason than the Meta. Yeah, I would say the main clicks are a little bit lighter. The side buttons, I'm going to say the side buttons are a little bit more firm, believe it or not. Lighter main buttons, but side buttons are a little bit more firm. And they seem to, I may be wrong about this, but they seem to have maybe changed the coating on it, but maybe not. I just haven't used this mouse a whole lot. As you can see, the Meta gets very fingerprinty, so it needs to be cleaned occasionally. And I haven't really used this enough to tell you on that. But anyway, so overall build quality on this, the scroll wheel, like I said, is the same as the MVP. The main buttons are lighter, and the side buttons are a little bit more stiff than the Meta. So anyway, so let's jump over here and test the weight real quick here. See what's going on. All right. So of course, this is just me setting the mouse on it. There we go. 65 for the Meta, and let me make sure this cable doesn't loop on this. 65 and oh well, 68. So as you can see, the Meta is a little bit lighter than the MVP. Not much really. You can't really tell though, honestly. When you're using it, you don't really notice it. So the buttons are good on both of these. No real issues. One thing I will say is the DPI change button is more recessed on the MVP. That doesn't bother me at all. I never have a problem with that. But really quickly, I didn't have this listed on my notes here, but the skates, the mouse skates are, I would say they're the same. They're the same company, whoever makes these mouse skates. They appear to be about the same. I know the Meta is a little bit more used than the MVP, so it's hard for me to tell you exactly. But it's weird because when I had this copy, I don't know if they took the mouse feet covers off there or not. But when I got the MVP, I had to take film off these, whereas when I got this, the film was already off. Who knows? But so the cable appears to be about the same as far as flex. So you can see it tangles up. It does tangle a little bit, but overall I'd say it's fine. I don't use a mouse cable thing. I just let it dangle there. So anyway, I would say the cables are about the same, and I would say they're good cables. They're not the best cables. I'm trying to give you an idea. They're definitely better than the Zowie cable. That is for sure. Zowie cables are much thicker and more stiff than the Gamesense cables. Also, they are better than the Viper cable too. This is the Viper. This is the Viper 8K. 8K has its disadvantages, but definitely better than the Razer cable by a long shot. So no question about that. So overall, my conclusion on this is it's all about shape. So if you're a person that likes a higher side buttons and use those frequently, then I would say that the MVP is a better mouse. Overall, I would say both the mice are really good. My favorite is definitely the Meta. As you can see here, I think the shape is a little bit different. Not only is the MVP a little bit bigger, in the Meta, it just seems slimmer. And I feel like I was using the Ultralight 2 for a while, Model O minus for a while, Razer Viper for a while, S2 for a while, Ponage Ultra Custom Sim 2, I believe, is one of those I was using. Anyway, so I get kind of used to the slimmer shape on this, but it's not to say I hate the MVP. If it wasn't for the side buttons being in a kind of an uncomfortable position for me, I would probably use that mouse just as much. But anyway, if you guys have any questions, let me know. If you're wondering, this mouse pad is the Lethal Gaming Gear Saturn, and I have it on top of one of my favorite mouse pads of all time is the Core Master MP710, I believe, or let me get that for you. Hold on a minute. MP510. It's the MP510 XL. Sorry, I bought it so long ago. I forgot what the model of it was. But if you guys have any questions, let me know. I do have I just got in the Razer. Or I'm sorry, the Artisan. Raiden Brown mouse pad, which I don't really use a whole lot. I just wanted to make sure I completed my collection of the Artisan mouse pads. But if you guys have any questions about mouse pads or anything like that, I do have a large selection of them. Some of the other mice that I have to review are all the current Final Mouse mice, the Ponage mice, the Zowie mice, Razer, Logitech. Also have all the Zowie mouse pads and everything like that. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. But this is just a quick review of these two mice. I'm trying to think if I don't miss anything here. But let's see, side buttons are good. The placement can be an issue for some. The main clicks are good. Build's good. Scroll wheels are good. Tactile, less firmy scroll wheel click. Everything about these mice pretty good. In fact, I don't even think you need to change the skates, and that's just my opinion. But anyway, you guys hit the comments up if you guys have any questions, and take care.